back to the channel. I am your host, Osa. Today, we're going to, well, before we get on with the video, please like and share the video. It helps out with the algorithm, helps me out with the algorithm so that more people can see my videos and get more people, so that these videos can reach out to more people, all right? We're close to 100 subscribers, actually. Maybe a good 4 more people to subscribe. Once we reach 100, I got a special thing going on when we reach subscriber note number 100. So be on the lookout for that, and spread the word too. Let's get to 100, and then I'll definitely get that special event that I have planned for subscriber number 100, for the 100th subscriber. To thank you guys for getting this channel up to 100 subscribers, which is amazing, by the way. Never thought ever since last October we I would get here. So the video we're going to react to is by Hotdamnirock. So if people don't know, I think he's an artist. He's a recording artist. And he's been doing YouTube for quite some time. Like, his videos go back, I think, almost a decade. So he's very well known in the space, and he did an interesting video about a certain situation that happened to him, all right?
You know why the content on this channel has changed so much? Why I don't stand in the bathroom and call bitches no more? It's not because I woke up one day and decided to be on some kumbaya shit. This all started when my stomach was messed up. Remember that? When I was in and out the hospital for that year, couldn't eat, couldn't drink, losing weight, doctors didn't know what was going on. I had a team full of niggas, all went to school 13 years apiece doing this shit. Fuck you mean, nigga? This right here, this is not a reassuring feeling from a medical professional, let me tell you. You talk about angry. I had childhood rage flowing through me all over again. I wanted everything and everyone far, far away. Only thing I cared about was Kiko. And that nigga wasn't shit. I'd be curled up, fetal position in the living room floor. He come nudging me with his nose. Wake up, nigga. Ain't no food in my bowl. I don't give a shit about what you going through. Get up and feed me. Then open the door so I can take a big shit in the grass. That was the routine. He would eat, run outside, take a big cow-sized shit in the middle of the lawn, come back in, sit next to me, and lick on his asshole. While I slowly wither away, I would have to listen to the sound of my dog lick his asshole as loud as he could.
That's depressing. That's depressing. That's depressing. Oh my goodness. Can't even move, and all you could do is just hear your dog lick his asshole. That's yeah. But that's not actually part of. But as you know, as funny as that is, it's not actually why we're here.
And that was my life. Then here come the girls. The same girls that you treat like whatever. The same girls that don't mean anything to you deeper than some pussy. Still care about you enough to want to make sure, are you okay? You need anything? Girls crying on the phone. Can I just come sit with you? So persistent, annoyingly persistent, to the point where you just give in. Okay, yo, damn, come on. I don't know what we gonna do when you get here. Shorties is coming over during normal business hours. This brand new to me. Sex definitely off the table. So the only thing left to do now is talk. It was at this point that I slowly began to realize I've been maintaining years of a relationship with people that I couldn't even hold a basic conversation with. And let me clarify something. When I use the word relationship, we're not talking boyfriend-girlfriend. A relationship is the quality of being between a person, place, or thing. Boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, friend, family member, those are titles. The relationship is the quality that you maintain with said titles.
I think that's important to keep note here as we continue with this video, what a relationship is. A quality between two different people, regardless of what title it, what between two people amongst a set title. So a romantic relationship, a friendship, about a relationship between your parents or your siblings, it's important to keep that term of quality, the quality of an encounter or the quality of that said relationship between two people. All right, so let's keep that in mind. Keep that in mind.
So when these girls would leave, I would sit and reverse engineer the entire relationship, trying to understand, why is this shit just now hitting me? How come I didn't figure this out a long time ago? Well, usually when you tell them to come over, it's already 9, 10 o'clock at night. You drink, smoke, put on some bullshit movie you know you're not paying attention to. Y'all fuck, go to sleep, and in the morning, you kick her out. There is no time to talk because you haven't made any. This shit your fault. This whole shit your fault. For what legitimate reason are you ever pissed at these girls for? You did this to us. Coming to that realization had me pacing around the crib like, the same way that I was discovering, I have been maintaining relationships with people that I had little to nothing in common with. I was also figuring out that I've been dealing with girls that I relate to on a level that I didn't even know existed. Some would even acknowledge, this shit's so sad. This is the first time that we ever just talked.
And that's also a crazy thing that he's even saying, because I'm pretty sure he's not the only one who experienced this type of situation where it's all just, hey, we haven't even sat down and have a conversation because of the whole viewpoint or how we are viewing women, right? So for some guys, hey, it's just, it is what it is. Hey, we're just doing what we got to do, and that's it. And you know what? That's cool. Hey, that's totally fine. If that is something you want to do, and I will I will repeat that later on in this video. But if that's something you want to do, so be it. It's all about knowing yourself, knowing who you are, and with that, leading with that, instead of just trying to fit yourself into a certain situation. Hey, if that's something that you feel that, hey, it's okay, hit it, quit it, that's it. That's all you. That's fine to do. Don't feel ashamed to do that. On the flip side, hey, if you have these people that there's part of you that's you know what, man, we haven't really have that type of quality between me and said person, regardless of what type of relationship it is, then that's on you to correct that, and you should correct that. So again, there's no real right or wrong answer here for this, but know yourself first, and then once you know who you are, then you can answer that question.
That shit's so sad. That is so sad. You give your body to me, and you got some wet pussy between your legs, and you just be giving me that shit, and I don't even talk to you? Yo, why? Why? I would flat out ask girls, why do you put up with my shit? I was fucking disgusted with myself. You know what the most popular answer was? Because you don't hit me. Hold up. Because I don't do what to you? Dudes hit you? Nigga. Girls will look at me Girls will look at me the way that I look at them when they say some shit that makes no sense. Do guys hit me? You one of the only dudes, including their fathers. You one of the only guys. Never put his hands on me.
Yeah, that has to change too, because there's no reason to put your hands as a man towards a woman. There's no reason for it. Your emotions cannot be boiled up to the point where you have to raise your hand at another woman. Like, no, you always have the power to walk away from it or to eject yourself from that situation. You always have that power, and you should always pick that chance, unless, of course, she's attacking you and you have to defend yourself. But majority of the times, in majority of situations, at times you always have the power to walk away from it. If it's that much of it, if it irritates you to the point where you're boiling hot, you can always walk away from that. There's no excuses for hitting a woman. There is none whatsoever, none at all. And let's get that narrative needs to change for people. Like, oh, it's okay to be a hitter or hitting her is a sign of showing strength. That's not a sign of showing strength at all. That's weakness personified completely, and that needs to stop. That absolutely needs to stop.
So, you're willing to subject yourself to the things that I do put you through because it don't get physical? They would say, yeah. In comparison to what I've been through, you a breath of fresh air. Whole time, I was dealing with girls that have been beat up, raped, held at gunpoint, kept against their will. POWs don't even have these types of stories. I had a girl tell me her ex choked her up against the wall until she passed out. That was the only reason he let her go, because he thought he killed her. Girls would say, when I'm around you, I feel safe. That's a big deal to a girl. Feeling safe, that is huge. Never knew how important that was to them.
I did know that. So, I mean, I still do too, but I do know that. And it's also funny, safety and being comfortable around you is actually a huge deal. And for me, it's always something that I'm always trying to make sure I come across too, because I am a large stature person. And, with what's going around now in social media and stuff, and even some of these women's experiences too, the sense of security always needs to come across first. That's always something I want to always pass first. Like, hey, it's safe, regardless of whatever happens here, you're going to be good regardless if you're with me, per se. So I picked that up literally right away. And it's crazy that he's saying this now, because it's obviously still, relatively a big problem, right? It's women still, we have to address that. Yes, there are women that don't feel safe at all with certain people, or they are in situations where they are being abused and being verbally, physically abused, and they stay in these relationships, that's a whole nother conversation too to be had, because there's layers to that. But there are women who have experienced that, and then they come to you, and then they're just they're calm, relaxed, regardless of what you're doing, because it's light compared to what she experienced beforehand, which is sad. Which is sad to hear about too, because it's not supposed to happen like that, right? But of course, with me, I knew that came to me almost literally immediately. Like, hey, it's important to perceive some sort of comfortability or some sort of safety around you. So that's always something I always try to push, and other guys should too. And be genuine with it, and don't obviously be genuine about it. Though I know there's people that use that as a way of manipulation, and then they do some horrible shit, which is cold. But that's always something that, project that, and people should, and other men should try to make sure that they project that. Hey, you're in a safe space, right? You're in a safe space, and it's not to worry about.
You make me laugh. You cook. You eat my pussy good. You be eating the shit out of my pussy. You don't talk to me like I'm worthless. You cuddle me at night. I ain't ever been with a nigga that cuddle. And you don't hit me. Yeah, you be putting a bitch out in the morning. But when I'm with you, I know what to expect. The most I ever gotta deal with when it comes to you is you fuck other girls and lie about it. Like I'm stupid. Like I don't see hair around the house and plane tickets in the trash. I just don't say nothing. But you know, since we talking, they hit me with that shit. Since we talking, if you would just change a few things about yourself, stop doing the things that you know you're not supposed to be doing, and start doing the things that you know you are, you be the perfect nigga. A person ever told you they see perfection in you if you just act right? I had to change. Not for them, for myself. Because I was the one fucked up this whole time. I was the one creating realities for myself that didn't have to exist. Me. Now my head hurt. Stomach still hurt. Trying to figure out, what do I do with this information? I had to dig deep in order to understand at what point did pussy become so important to me. You know the conclusion I came to? High school, 9th grade, cafeteria, lunch table. That shit was like going to jail for the first time. You just got sentenced to 4 years. You don't know nobody. Most of the people you went to middle school with on different lunch shifts, and you standing there holding a stinky tray of food in your hand, searching. Where do I fit in? Come over here, yo. Sit with us, yo. Me? There go the invite. You don't know why they picked you. You don't know if this shit a trick. All you know is that if you turn down the one that invited you, the pack is going to now look at him, waiting to see what he's going to do in response. Jail. You really in that bitch making jailhouse decisions. So you just go to the table. Luckily, they cool. You can sit with us, but sit at the end of the table. You gotta work your way to the front. Next thing you know, you hanging out with the varsity football team, the upperclassmen. That should just sound cool, the upperclassmen. All these niggas failing, but upperclassmen though. Eventually, you start eavesdropping on the conversations. That's when you hear it. Pussy, pussy, pussy. Niggas is talking about pussy like it's the new crack cocaine just hit the streets. I'm listening to stories about niggas getting their dick sucked in the locker room. I'm like, hold up. You getting your dick sucked on school property? I felt like a sucker. I'm coming in this bitch to learn. Niggas is getting their dick sucked. What class I gotta skip? But deep down inside, the person that I really was, I'm really the fucking anime table Pokemon card niggas. The motherfuckers playing chess and pulling out comic books and shit. That's who I really was, but I saw how they got treated. I was already dealing with that bullshit at home. You think I'm gonna come to school too and get shoved in a locker? You think I'm gonna come to school too and get my books slapped out my hand every time I walk down the hall? I be done shot this whole bitch up. No survivors. No courtesy calls, don't come to school tomorrow. Fuck that nigga. Casualties. I was an angry teenager, full of rage and vengeance. So to avoid all that, I'ma just hang out with these Rockefeller niggas. Cause these niggas getting pussy.
So, I'll stop the video here. He does go into a little bit more, kind of, bring everything together though, but, he mentions about high school, and high school is very, very, if you all knew, everyone's all aware about that, it's very cliquey. So it was always important to find your group almost, right? And that in turn kind of, shows up as like some sort of identity to you, right? Like you are this whatever this clique is, and that's who you are only, right? And probably one of my mistakes, even when I was back in high school, was not being able to fully express myself thoroughly. Like, hey, like for me, I was more personality wise, I was more nerdy, right? So I got into anime around that time. I was all big time gamer. I was like the whole geek nerd persona. I was like that. But at the same time, I was also into athletics, and I was part of the basketball team, and I was also, which means I was with a whole nother different type of group too as well. So, and I was never really able to bring both together, per se, right? So, which is something that I kind of regret too, because hey, I'm not one aspect or the other. I'm both and then some at the same time. So what he's explaining here is how the notion of viewing women came to be, and it started in high school, and even for me too. And you kind of relate to that as well when you hear these stories about hey, shit was going down the staircase. There was actually an incident about some dude getting his dick sucked in the staircase. Fucking wild, but that's neither here. That was neither here nor there. And then some other wild stuff about stuff happening in the locker rooms, and a whole bunch of crazy stuff. I can't even go into half the shit that I heard back when I was in high school. But that kind of did. You always had some of the upperclassmen that he was explaining to, just older kids really, that they're still failing, but older upperclassmen kids, kind of teaching tell them about their sexual experiences and how to do certain things, and how such and such feels, and how having a certain amount of partners, right, sleep partners that you slept with, was some sort of a badge of honor, right, or some sort of status thing. Like, hey, I've had slept with X amount of people, right, or I slept with X amount of people. I've done this with X amount of people. Quote unquote, some sort of like quote unquote stuff, right? So some sort of status symbol across when you were in high school. That's kind of where that whole like mentality started, and that does carry on. Like, and then he'll explain that it does carry on. For some of us, yeah, for some of us it still does carry on. Well, obviously as the years go by, that starts to get a little bit less important to you in your mind. But that's for some people. For others, they're still probably going around, still like doing their thing or whatever, which is fine. That's totally okay. But kind of realizing where that started, right? So in high school, it definitely was something where it started for me too, where I started to think more of like women as more of a like unfortunately as some sort of like target per se, right? And then once I got to that target, I was on to the next target. It's just kind of jumping from back and forth, different type of women per se, right? And then kind of having to understand where that type of mentality comes from. It's back in high school where people saw that as a symbol, as a status symbol, instead of just not seeing women as people. And I think that's really one of the bigger problems now that we're facing in today's society, right? Especially in the whole red pill community thing, right? Where a lot of stuff is being used as generalizations, right? Like, hey, they're not necessarily people, they're just a number. Like, hey, this is what happens to the majority of people, then that's law, that happens with everyone, right? No, that's not, that's another comparison there, where the lacking issue here is viewing women as individuals. Like, they are people, they're individuals, each individual is different. And because your lack of not seeing them as individuals, you are now seeing them as either targets or a statistic, then the level of humility that you are showing to women is low. And that's something that shouldn't be happening, right? So regardless of if you're seeing them as like general statistics to try to to try to understand why you're not getting some sort of success, or if you had success and yet you're not necessarily being fulfilled because of that, because of what you're doing, right? In terms of like, getting laid or whatnot, right? Both reasonings comes down to not viewing women as individuals, and that's a big problem that we really have in society. Like, once we get to the point where we're viewing women as individuals, then things start to make more sense for everybody, right? And that's something that I even came to that conclusion, like, hey, these are individuals, these are people with different stories, different backgrounds, the stories of how they got to where they are, that's important to them. That's part of their identity. That's what makes them individual. That's what makes them who they are. And that's important to know that they're not just some sort of statistic or a notch to put on your belt. Like, no, they're not. And I'm not saying that, hey, if you're doing that you're wrong or whatever. Like, you can do whatever the fuck you want to, but understand where that's coming from, and also understand that to also be responsible. There you go. That's what I'm saying. There, also be responsible in your actions and what you're doing. Like, if you're going to partake in stuff like that, see them as humans, right? See them as a person, see them as an individual, and before you do what you got to do, right? But again, I'm not here to judge people who do that. I'm not necessarily saying that it's inherently wrong per se that you do that. I mean, this all comes down to fit and knowing yourself. Like, if that's how you operate, that's how you're moving around, by all means do it. But if you yourself feel that, hey, I don't feel that I'm doing the right thing, or I don't feel that I'm not really getting what I'm looking for out of certain interactions, or the quality of relationship, right? The quality of the relationship between whoever you're having, whether it's a girlfriend, a friend, or whatnot, right? But if you're not really getting out of what you're getting out of the quality of the relationship, you're not getting out what you're looking for, then it's time to reevaluate why that is, right? And then make sure you correct that. So again, all comes down to knowing yourself and knowing what you want, and that is very, very much important. Okay, so I'm gonna leave a link to this video down in the description. So I think, first of all, an amazing video by him, through and through. I'm definitely going to probably look out for him a little bit more if he ever drops videos. It seems like he drops videos whenever he feels like it, which I get. Hey, YouTube is not easy to keep up with, but definitely a great video. Definitely take the time to watch the video itself, because he comes to a very fantastic conclusion at the end of the video, and really gets you to thinking. So definitely watch it. Be sure to like, comment, share the video. Subscribe if you're a new viewer to the channel. Welcome. Don't forget to hit the bell next to the subscribe button so that you get notified whenever I drop a new video. And leave a comment. Like, how do you feel about the message that he says? Is he right about his synopsis of having that thought process starting from high school, and is that process inherently toxic? Is it something that, or maybe it's just, it is what it is, and that's something you don't find that's a really big issue to you, right, in your own opinion, okay? So before I end the video, we're almost at 100 subscribers. I think last time I checked we were at 96 or so. So we got about maybe 3 or 4 more subscribers. We hit 100. Once we hit 100, this is, I guess, the special for you guys for getting the channel up to 100 subscribers. It's a big moment for us here at Call It a Spade, and it's got something big for y'all. All right. So once we get to 100, I'll definitely explain what the prize is, and then we get going with that. Okay. So until next time, YouTube. All right. Take care.
4 a.m. We're out of bed with the color-coded skies. Seem like always with this battle royal minds. She rises up with that warm, bright smile of hers. Felt like one of those days, like I'm the motherfucking treasurer. Like The Rock, I rose up.